Happy Sunday, sitting and bullshitting with Satu Dave. Hope y'all doing well. If you got 4th of July weekend off, like you got Monday off, hey man, I hope you enjoy your 4-day weekend, whatever it ends up being for you. If not, then happy 4th of July. Hope you enjoy your 4th of July. So, I guess I don't really have a good topic for today, so we're just kind of like, I don't know, shooting shit, I guess. Like you sitting in front of the shop, right? Right, pretty much. So, I had to show this guy off. Got this from Steve Clare. He gifted it to me a while back. Crooked River, custom made American motif. So I'll definitely be rocking this on the 4th of July. It's my only. I had a couple other ones, but it's my only American motif. Well, I got that DPX Hess that's got the flag on it too. So maybe I'll carry both these on 4th of July. I don't know. This was definitely gonna go in the pocket. That you know, I'm gonna be on Dirk and Alex's podcast, the EDC Hour. Probably, I think it's next Sunday. Um, the main reason that even got invited, I think, was we was talking about prices basically and Benchmade. So just throw that out there in case any of y'all do lives. I know some people are really into the whole live thing. I generally don't have the time for that kind of stuff. I'm making time this time because, and occasionally I will drop in their show anyhow and talk to those guys too. But I just thought it was kind of an interesting subject myself. And there's so many details about prices of knives, and why people charge what they charge, and if you're not from a manufacturing background, what that could, it may be informative, and it may be like, who cares, right? All right, so I just throwing that out there in case any of y'all are interested. So I counted today just for the heck of it, because 4th of July weekend, all that American spirit. I got 3 non-American knives, and Hot Rod's got a couple too. But if you kind of divvy up the collection, I think last week we were talking about Medfords, and I only had like 3 Medfords, but I forgot she's got like 2 or 3 too, maybe more. I don't know. I got 3 non-American knives. So this is the first one. This is that Sherbakov Scout. I think I said that right, didn't I, Mitch? Uh, Russian made, and I customized with the whole my finish on that one and sandblasting and a little other work I did to that one. And then they got the gift from my bro Chris over at Cue Ball's Cutting Corner. This is the Tanto Recon 1 with the Hologron S35. This is from what I was doing this weekend, this whole mini split install stuff. This is a great one because like this, I sometimes forget. Sometimes I need projects and things to remind me why there are knives like this. So like my hands are sweaty as hell. It's like 110 outside. I can barely hold on to anything. Like seriously, and I pull this out of the pocket and it's like stuck to me. So like this G10, like I'm not a huge fan of G10 as a whole, but like they do have their purposes. So when you need the grip, it's nice to have a knife like this. And also, honestly, value wise, you don't really care about beating it up, right? Cold steel's got great value. And then lastly for me is the GTC custom torque. Uh, so I mentioned in the past that it came from Aaron, but this is a custom GTC, a very unusual knife, a very cool knife. And I'm kind of moving all into the custom world anyhow. So cool custom to have, cool maker to have it from, and such a unique piece, right? So I'm really I'm good with that. Like one Taiwanese, one Russian, and one Brazilian. That's what I got. So like I'm not like there's I personally don't have any China knives. I don't have whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. You know how I feel. Y'all do your thing. It's 4th of July. We're celebrating America and celebrating the diversity of America. Because like my bro JD for EDC just reviewed this Hinderer XM24. If you hadn't seen this video, go watch it. Right, and you can watch him kind of sort of struggle with a flipper and not really get along with this knife at all. And like basically all I heard was changes that he would make if it was his knife, which is funny to me because like I get the thing back and I see what he's saying, like as far as about the things he's complaining about, but none of those bother me. You can see how good the flipper action is on it for me. Like I don't know, I like everything about this knife. Like I wouldn't change anything about it. So it's kind of funny how you can be so different opinionated about the same knife, but like I love Hinderers. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've had nothing but good luck with all the Hinderers I've had. No bad lucks. There's been some better than others, but as far as like, oh, this nice piece of crap, never. I love Hinderers. And of course, can't talk about it without talking about Strider. I just got this one back. I had loaned it out, which is really cool. I enjoy the process of loaning stuff out to let some of you guys check that stuff out. Uh, and then getting it back, and it's like, oh man, I forgot that I liked this knife as much as I did. I got this one on trade from Will, and pretty much within a week or two, I sent it off to Matt for Matt to check out. And Matt took a ton of badass pictures on it on Instagram, and he enjoyed it obviously. So it's really cool to kind of share the knife experience with people. I'd say SMF's probably a Matt's future. He seemed to dug this one. um, the guys who wanted the Project X scales, I'm sorry it's taking so long. You know, obviously, like if I could get the mill running and be running, I would love to jump on stuff like that. And there's so many other projects that I love to jump a hold of, but you know, even at that though, it's 105, 10, whatever it is on a daily here. Like there's only so much time that you're going to spend out in the shop, especially on your days off. So honestly, if you're waiting for the scale, you're probably looking at a few months still. Like I haven't even looked at the CNC. Like honestly, I haven't even opened the doors to like try to trace wires. I need to trace some wires down. I haven't even looked at it to try to trace any wires down in probably 2 or 3 weeks now. Like I just don't have the time and then mental capacity. Like when it's 110, I can't think clearly. I literally can't. So like I know it sounds like a bunch of excuses, but you know, like could I hire somebody? Probably, and I probably will eventually do that. I got a guy supposed to be coming by the 4th of July to help me kind of maybe steer me in the right direction of what we're looking at. I don't know. Look, kind of in a weird spot on that CNC stuff. Like, you know, I know what I'm doing CNC wise, but just getting the machines running and getting the tooling up, it's just way more expensive than what I anticipated it being. So hopefully there'll be some kind of end in sight soon. And I just don't have the time to dedicate to it. Like it's just like buying a basket case motorcycle. It just requires the time to put it together. I mean, even if you have most of the knowledge, it's a lot of time unless you got the stuff laying around. So I've got some extra electronic components ordered for it, but that's pretty much neither here nor there. So as far as community stuff goes, like I'm gonna just get a knife and I'll just get a sawtooth hell with it. As far as community stuff goes, like if y'all don't know about Donnie's condition, Donnie B all day, worth watching a video on him, and also Stella from Stella's Knife Obsession. She's going through some bad health issues right now too. If you weren't aware of either one of those channels, go by and check their channel out. Just show them some love, whether it's just by giving a thumbs up in a video or whatever. I don't care. Just try to do what you can on them. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. So this is a theory thing. I guess I've been pondering a little bit, the other job doesn't really require me, because my wife's the brains and the other one I'm just the brawn. I carry the equipment, hold the dogs and cats down, and keep them calm. That's pretty much my deal, and all the paperwork crap. But as far as like during the day, I don't really have to use my brain, not that much anyhow. So I tend to push it somewhere else. So I was wondering. So like like Lefty started his own company, the Devo Knives with Colin, and Lefty's a higher end production guy, primarily as the knives that he likes. I'm not saying he don't like other knives, but like his main interest is that. But yet most of the Devo knives are kind of sort of aiming towards the budget end of things, or at least seem to anyhow. So just for him, for one example, right? So if you guys were starting a knife company, what would you do? Would you try to appease like the lower end, or would you just go straight up customs and start building customs? I'm just curious. Like it's something I've been thinking about. Like I know a lot of people think that they have to climb up on the China manufacturing to sell money, to make some money in order to buy equipment and that sort of thing. I got my equipment bought, right? So I'm kind of sitting here thinking, like, if I was, just pondering, if I was making knives, like, what would I try to make a knife for? Like, who would want something from me, and then who would be willing to pay for it at the end of that, right? So, like the scale thing, when I started selling these scales, I kind of thought that I would sell more than what I did, and I kind of thought they'd go quicker than they did. They went way slower. I did sell them all, but it took a lot longer than what I anticipated it initially from gauging interest when I first started it. Neither here nor there. I'm a nobody, and I don't expect anybody to just throw money to a nobody for a scale or something like that. But just like in general, like where would you sit in the company? What would you do if you're doing it? Because like we're not talking. I'm not a production company, or I'm not saying it for me. Like if I were going to start a company, would you want to be a production? Would you want to do custom? What would you ideally, if you were starting a knife company, what would you do? So I guess the reason I'm asking is because like I've been pondering the whole thing of maybe getting into knife making, right? Maybe trying to do it more to generate funds rather than waste funds, because pretty much like I've probably got 10 grand worth of crap laying around here, tools and equipment wise, that I could be using to make money instead of just letting them be a hobby thing. So I have pondered it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with knife making. I know how to machine, but I don't know anything about knife making other than what I've made already. And, it may turn into something, it may not. But I think, me personally, I think I'm about the customs, but that's what I'm into right now. Like, for years and years and years, I thought that the Grayman Sawtooth was pretty much the be all end all for me. And the reason why is because, like, I got a big, huge, beefy knife that I really enjoyed, that really stood up to the task that I needed for, and it was a value. It was like less than $400, brand new. Like, most of the time back then, I think the full ties were 375 or 395 for a long time. Like, so that to me was it was a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but it is, like, and now in my knife collecting, this is like kind of sort of on the lower end of what I even look for in knives. Like, when $400 knives, I'm not saying I only buy $400, only buy above $400 knives, but generally speaking, most of my knives are double to triple that. And that's just how it is when you get in the custom world. Like, I didn't wake up going, I want to spend $1,000 on a knife, but if you want to play with these knives, you got to pay for what they cost, right? And the craftsman's making these things, so it's just a thought. I'm just curious what you guys think about this kind of stuff. Like, you know, the other thing I see is like an American made product, like, to compete on a budget type affair, you have to be production, or at least like semi production, right? Like, American Blade Works is probably the only one I can think of company wise. It's like a smaller company that still kind of does production. Like, he's got a long machinist background as well. I've talked to him not this past year, but the year before that at Blade Show. We got kind of a similar background as far as machining stuff goes. So, he knows what he's doing. He's seen it. He's been in enough shops, and he knows how to make a production with less equipment than what it would be, say, for someone who didn't know that. But in any case, his knives are about the $200 mark for that Model 1, and I think that Model 2 is like close to 350, 400, somewhere in there. And that's about as budget you're going to be able to get in a small production batch, right? Like, even like Chris Reeves and Hinderers, their knives are, $400 something dollars. People complain about what the price is, but, like, go out and try to make one. Like, you go try to make one. Try to get I don't care if you had the equipment or didn't, but just try to get the pieces together and do it in a timely manner to make that. It's a challenge. It is. It's a fine tuned machine. Everything about it is, like, every detail about it is refined over years and years and years to be able to even offer that for that price. So when people were like, $400, I never paid $400 for a knife. Like, like, maybe think about it from a manufacturing point of view. I don't know. I'm all over the place and rambling. I ain't really got shit to say today. We're almost at 13 minutes. Let's call it Lucky 13 and be done. All right. I hope y'all have a good, safe 4th of July, and y'all have a great week as well. See you next weekend. Later, y'all.